Okay guys, in this short video I'm just going to take you through the steps to start up your new Windows Server 2016 virtual. So I've fired up VMware Workstation here. I'm going to create a new virtual machine. I'm going to get the wizard here and choose typical, click next. You need to choose the installer disk image, which is going to use your ISO file that you've downloaded from the Microsoft Evaluation Center. And then you'll have to find your ISO on your PC. Select that. Click open, and you'll notice that VMware is going to say that it's detected this operating system and it's going to use a feature called Easy Install. Now when you're working in a production environment, this is basically going to streamline the install process so that you don't have to be sitting there and going through each part of the normal Windows Server install process. But because we're learning and we'd actually like to see what that process is, we're going to have to find a way to disable the Easy Install. And it's not immediately intuitive how you do that. So just follow along with these steps here and we'll show you at the end how we can disable that feature. So now I've selected the ISO, I'm going to click on next. You can put in a Windows product key. This is all part of the Easy Install feature. For now we're just going to ignore all these settings and click next. It's going to ask us if we want to continue without a product key and we're going to say yes. You can then name your virtual environment. We'll click next. Here you can configure the maximum disk space. By default, VMware uses a split virtual disk, which means it will actually only use up the necessary amount of space it needs. So it has a maximum size of 60 gigabytes, but if it doesn't require that, it will use less. So typically it'll split the image into 20 gigabyte partitions effectively. We'll click next. If you're not happy with the default settings, for example, the network adapter is set to NAT. If I want it to work on an existing network, which in this case I do, I could go into there and select the network adapter and change it to bridged. You can also add additional drives, any other sort of information you want in there, you can add that in. Right, so we'll click close on that. Now the key is to make sure that you have deselected power on this virtual machine after creation. If the machine is, if that's checked, then when you finish this wizard, it will automatically start the install process and it will go into the Easy Install mode and you won't be able to stop it at that point except just to cancel out the whole thing and start again. So make sure that the power on this virtual machine after creation is switched off. We'll click finish. And what I'm going to do now, you'll see if we've got the virtual server sitting there, is I'm going to go in and edit the virtual machine settings. What VMware has done is created an install script which is sitting underneath the floppy disk. You can see there it says using file autoinstall.flp. I don't want that to happen because that's the Easy Install feature. So I'm just going to simply remove that floppy disk from the list of devices for this virtual machine. Now that I've done that and say OK, when I power on this virtual machine, it will actually just be a standard virtual image and I'll have to go through and answer all the prompts during the installation process so I can see how it would actually be installed on a physical hardware. So hopefully it's helpful, and once you've got that underway, you can then refer to our PDF documents to look on how to do some of the more specialist things like adding services to your Windows Server 2016.